Happy International Women's Day to all. This is Fifi from Migrant Solidarity Committee of Autonomous 8A. And first, I would like to share some bits and pieces of the heartbreaking experience from observing court hearings. In the past few months, I went to several court proceedings of migrant workers' sexual and physical abuse cases. I went there as a volunteer to make notes of the proceedings that are in Cantonese and later translate the notes so that the migrant victims can be informed with the progress. Before I went there, I had already prepared myself mentally, but that was far from enough. It was so heartbreaking that when you listen to the testimony of victims who were required to repeat her trauma again and again, being interrogated about the excessive details of the assault as if she is a defendant. It was also heartbreaking when you see the migrant victims of physical abuse shaking with fear because she had to give her testimony in the same small courtroom in front of the employer that assaulted her. While those abusive employers are represented by the lawyer they hire, I saw that after reporting the cases, victims in the legal procedures are only witnesses and have no control on what happens next, as it is totally on the police and then the prosecutor side. All of this painful experience are shared by any woman who have been abused and reported the case. Yet, for migrant workers and ethnic minority women, the path to access justice is even harder, as the court proceedings go on not in their languages, except when they are giving testimony. But even if there are interpreters when they give testimony, the legal system still lacks professional interpreters for their language. I guess you can imagine the feeling of helplessness in such a situation that when you are in a court giving your testimony, but you are not sure what the interpreter are talking to you or what the court, the lawyer, prosecutor is talking to you. We are not okay when we see other sisters are suffering. But the way out is not to turn our head away and pretend those suffering are not here. If we want true success in the women's movement, we have to be united and connected across nationalities and immigration status. We have to know each other's condition and see the common issues we are facing. While I see the suffering and heartbroken things, I also acquire hope and strength from the women and migrants movement. I'm encouraged by the resilience of women I know from those scenes. I met and learned from a lot of migrants and local women who have experienced violence and exploitation, and they are now organizing together, taking care of each other, and expressing themselves to the world with a lot of creativity. The pandemic didn't stop us from doing so. From individuals to organizations, many women from the grassroots communities and their allies organized to take care of our sisters. We spend our spare time attending to the needs of our fellow sisters. We gather information, organize them, and translate into different languages, and distribute them to the community. We prepare and deliver assistance for sisters and friends who are under self-isolation quarantine. And much more work has been done that I'm not able to mention here. All of the work is to take care of the people in the society. All of the above is care work too. While the government failed to fulfill their responsibility, we are able to do that at our best with limited resources because we are organized on the ground. In fact, the government who holds and controls a lot of resources should recognize our contribution, pay us, and compensate us. If all those care works within and outside the household are paid well proportionate to our efforts and the time we spend, women are not in poverty anymore. We will not be jobless because we are always working hard to take care of the whole population. We have always been working and the government, the society ought to pay us with amount that we can have a decent life. Last, let's continue to be organized, connected, and learn from each other. Thank you.